Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Headspace Podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the brand new album from GoldLink called Diaspora. And my name is Holden Stephan Roy, and this is the Headspace Podcast, the show where we take you through new hip-hop albums track by track and just give thoughts and opinions on each and every song, whatever strikes out to us, often focusing a little bit more on the lyrics than anything else. I like to do my little intro bit, so if you do want to skip that, you can feel free to check the description of the video where you will see the full itinerary. On that note, I'm not a professional by any means. I'm just a person who started reviewing albums one day, and I'm trying to learn as I go. I'm trying to understand the culture and the art form, especially the art of the album. I feel like in an era of singles, looking at albums is a whole piece of work, especially something called like Diaspora, you know? It makes you curious what this whole project's going to be, and it's like more than just the individual songs. And so that's what I like to look into, the cohesiveness of the entire album. If you're into that shit, you can join along on this little adventure. But your comments and the people who watch this are highly encouraged, because I've personally learned loads through reading the comments after these videos come up. I've seen where I've made blunders, where I misinterpreted things, where I got stuff wrong, and often it's been so helpful to kind of understand the context of a lot of things. The last Headspace Podcast episode we did, we talked about Denzel Curry's album, not Denzel Washington, Denzel Curry's album Zulu, and on that we got a comment from Gurmehar Singh, and he said this was for his people back home. There was a lot of references from his hometown, and all the features are from where he's from. By the way, the whole project was freestyled according to Denzel. The pen and the pad is the middleman. Great review. I appreciate you taking a look, Chief. I like being called Chief. I guess I'm getting older. Chief is a cool one. A better project to review would be Taboo, which was for his album last year. We then got other comments saying go back further and then work your way up to Taboo. And here's the thing. I'm super happy to, indulge the Denzel Curry album review thing. And I was curious for all of y'all watching, do you want to see more Denzel Curry reviews? The guy who normally podcasts here with me, Mr. Christopher Crumb, who is fortunate enough to get a nice free pass to go see Freddie Gibbs today. Like, he'll be going to chill with Freddie. Well, I don't know if he'll chill with Freddie, but he'll be going to see the show and whatnot, where apparently we're going to be popping off a review for that in the near future at Montreal's Merle Fest. And I'm sitting here talking to the camera. So Chris, I think Chris is going to have a better Saturday night. I know you'll be seeing this on Sunday, but it's Saturday night, evening as I record this. So, yeah, Chris loves Denzel Curry, and I'm certain it would not be a hard sell to get an extra bonus episode here or there on that. So let us know if you're curious for that. We're going to get into the episode real shortly, so special thanks to the patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, DJ Black Hurricane, Lindell Williams, and Jonathan Barnes. We'll talk a bit about that at the end, but they're dope enough to shout out at the beginning. On that note, we're going to move into talking about the Diaspora album by GoldLink, and I wanted to start off with the definition of Diaspora. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the dispersion of any people from their original homeland. And now to me, that was like just such a powerful fucking title. I'll admit, I just Googled the definition to like make sure I knew what I was going to say, but I don't often start with the title of the album, but I've never heard of GoldLink, and I like to bring that up because how big of a fan you are of an artist will greatly impact your feelings of their album, and if you're new to it, it will also impact your feelings, and if you don't like the person, all of this shit plays into it. So letting you know in all goodness, I never heard of GoldLink before, but Chris was talking to some dude who knows the producer dude who wants to fuck with Chris, and that dude recommended that we talk about this project, and I was like, alright, we'll check it out. And especially due to the lack of albums coming out in this part of the year, it seems like it's a drier area. I don't know, it doesn't seem like anything like game-changingly huge has dropped recently, and I don't mean to say that GoldLink's Diaspora album here is not game-changingly huge, but we're talking about the type of shit where literally everybody and their brother has heard of it. Like, even people who don't know hip-hop have listened to it. So on that note, I have not heard of GoldLink before, honestly. a few days ago, I'll be honest with you. So for me, this was my first venture into it. But when I saw that the album was called Diaspora, and just the cover, just that like greenish background, and it's like you just see him with his shades on, and it doesn't look like he's wearing other clothing. I don't know what's below the belt there, but the way he's just kind of shining into that light, I don't know, there's something intriguing and mysterious about the look of him on this cover that really made me want to listen to this album in a way where most album covers don't give me that. If you watch this review, I'm usually just like, the album cover does nothing for me. In this case, it's like, damn, what is this album going to sound like? Who is this mysterious fellow? How can I, like, what is about to come to me? Because there's not really much being said. It's just GoldLink, Diaspora, and then it says it again, like, rotated on the side. And that's it. It doesn't say a lot, but it manages to make me so curious. Maybe it's just a shade of green, and it works real well when it's big, and it works real well when it's small. But it also kind of reminds me of like those old-timey, like way back in like the 50s-ish jazz covers where they would just kind of oddly discolor a person. And like the way back, like I'm talking the vinyls and stuff. So it almost feels like it's paying homage to like kind of outdated but culturally significant portion of music that many people have drawn inspiration from, or at least the older era of album covers. So I kind of feel that vibe from it, and I thought that was pretty cool. Otherwise, I don't have a lot more to say except that just looking at this cover, and even his name GoldLink, like that's a pretty cool name. Like it doesn't sound like, I don't know. It makes me think of Zelda. I'm not gonna lie. So Link in that regard, but it makes me picture like a powerful chain, you know. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I know sometimes I get to the point where I'm just droning on, so then it's just like / error. So it just kind of like sounds like somebody's running through an environment, like really fast running, like more athletic than I am, that person who's running. I don't think I can keep up with that kind of pace. But it also feels a little bit like a horror movie is playing out in the sense that this person might be running from some kind of a fear state, and there's like this like wilderness kind of sounds going on in the background, and it just kind of, when you look at the title / error, right, that's a, you know, in computer land, something's fucked up. So it just gives you the sense that maybe something's fucked up right off the jump, and then you had this dude just like running, so you're not really told what the error is. You know, you can hear also like his heart rate is just pulsating throughout this track, or this little intro. It's very short, but it manages to take that curiosity, I think, that gets built on that album cover and amplify it. Like, if this is your first time listening to the project, you have no idea what's coming next, right? You look at the next song and you know what it's called, but like it doesn't really give you clues as to the sound or the anything. You do get the sense that there's danger though. And I have to say, as far as the introduction goes, if you're going to do the little skit thing, it should pique my curiosity. It should make me want to know what the fuck this danger is. The emotion, like I feel that the emotion conveyed is done so perfectly that I'm truly impressed by how much is done in 23 seconds with this introduction. And on that note, I'm giving this a 4.5. I think it is a super fucking strong as far as modern introductions go. On that note, I'm fucking way too serious with my flat ass voice, and that ain't no joke, Ting.
Ting, oh no, you don't wanna get involved. Get close to my job.
So it starts off and it has PenSmith, who I can't say I've ever heard of before, doing I don't want to say overly generic, but it kind of comes off a little bit of generic in the overall singy tone on top of the beat that it is. It's kind of got like a modern trappy feel to it, but not like so typical. Right off the jump, I got the sense that this was dropped in June with the intentions of being played in more of a summery context. So I thought that was cool because it feels more vibey in a positive. Like I kind of want to be outside when I'm listening to this song, and being inside my room, it just kind of dampened it a little bit. But you hear the singing coming in, and what I thought was truly cool was the lyrically it was dope. Like, we don't look for trouble, we just have fun, but there's always someone trying to show what they can do. I only roll with my day one, no apron, but they will cook you. Don't let it be you, because my whole squad on swell, they don't want to get involved. Get close, you might choke. We in on a joke ting. And then whatever, it repeats a bit. But right off the jump, it's like you have the sense that these are guys who are out there, they're doing their thing, they're having a good time. But it's not so much that people want to fuck with them, but it's like people seem to be like trying to one up them. Or and this is something I felt like relatable. Like, how does a situation actually start? Maybe somebody's like, yo, check out what I can do, what I can bring to the table, blah, blah, blah. I want to be involved with your success. And then person's like, nah, check it, man. I'm only down on my day ones. Like, sorry, there's no vacancies here. Like, you can't come. And then motherfucker takes it personal and some shit escalates on some bullshit. And I just pictured that was kind of the tone where it was coming from. This wasn't some egotistical shit. It was more like, don't fuck with us, because, you know, we're not messing around and we don't really care what, you know, your shit is. Either way, I can't say I was like super enthralled at this point from an interest perspective, due to the fact that it's really well made, but the hook is just not a sound that I'm like 100% on board with and for my pleasure. I appreciate it from like when I'm out and about, and let me tell you something, if this was 2 a.m. and people was dancing all around me and there were ladies and shit, like, yeah, this is a very good song to have on in that moment, and I really do appreciate that. I often am not in those environments, so I'm not often looking for this type of vibe, we'll say. But so I appreciate how well made it is, and I don't want my attitude to be anything more than just this is my taste, because I do think that as far as quality goes, compared to his peers, time after time I click on some new rapper, like those weeks where I'll drop some shit and it came out like a month ago, it's because there were a lot of guys who kind of sounded like what this hook was, but shit bothered me about it. And if something really bothers me about it, I don't want to review it, because I don't want to be like the negative guy shitting on your parade. But nothing bothered me about this. This is just okay. It's totally dope. But when he started rapping, his flow is ridiculous. It kind of comes off and reminds me a bit of like the tempo and the speed of something like what Amine does when he goes fast, or like fucking Jid does when he goes in, or JID. I'm not sure what you pronounce, but I like it. He's just got like this fast, well-paced, interesting flow that completely contrasts off of what that hook was. So I thought it added this great splice to it. Like, it took a while to get through that chorus thing, but yo, the verse that we get from GoldLink is fresh as fuck. And as my first exposure to him, I was so happy to hear it, because it made me excited to hear the rest of the album, for real. Having a hook that isn't necessarily your cup of tea, but I'll give it to him, is pretty perfect pop music. I get it. That's cool. You're probably getting a lot more people. Like, I'm probably not who's, you know, the demographic that he's trying to capture here, but that verse had me. I was just in, like, and then I really appreciated when he's like, cool, big as fuck, like a cruise ship. Yeah, back on that cruise shit. See, what I learned is that Crew was a song he dropped off of one of his earlier, I think, mixtapes or something, and that shit got like a Grammy nomination. And so this motherfucker's Grammy nominated, and that blew my mind. And I was like, so cool to just like kind of see that this guy is so like to the pulse of how to craft pop music that sounds better than everybody else's pop music. Because honestly, Murder Dirty Glock on the yacht, still acting like I'm on the block, still got a call from the boys in the pen, putting money on the books when they lack, rich, do it for the children, want to talk numbers, talk billions. On like a surface level, it's kind of like a lot of other people's shit. But there's a couple of things about him that I want to bring up that I really like. It's not really about him. At no point do you really hear him going, I care a lot about the material wealth and possessions that I have. In fact, you don't really get that. It's more like situations arise. We live well. Don't get me wrong. He lives well. But it's almost like he's providing for his people in jail. He's making sure that, you know, the kids in the situation get provided for. He wants to make billions, which instantly makes me go, that's pretty cool, right? Like, making millions is almost chump change when billions are on the table by comparison. He's setting his aspirations above and beyond that of the average rapper. Like, he's clearly not motivated by getting a couple of cars and that's going to satisfy him. Nah, this guy has dreams, because you have to have proper fucking dreams to want billions right off the jump. And I think that the hunger to get to that level is prevalent here. And I think that's what makes this guy an attractive person to listen to. The rest of the verse is fine. It doesn't really bring a whole lot. It's kind of just, and I don't mean it to sound dismissive, but it doesn't give me a whole lot to talk about. I don't sleep, but please don't ask me why. When it comes to you, can't help but lie. When it comes to beef, I never hide. If you got a problem, don't be shy. He's a real one. That's what I can say from that. He's saying it in the right kind of way that makes me believe him as a person who's not going to state false things for the sake of some records. He's being legitimate, and I really appreciate that in his, like, everything about the lyrics is legit. The hook is like I said, it comes back in. So basically the structure of the song is hook, verse, really good verse, hook over, honestly, a really amazing beat to listen to. There's something about the drum patterns and such that just kind of enthralled me, and again gave me that summery feelings. Maybe it's just because it's June 15th and I can't wait for the warmth. I'm in Montreal. It's been a cold June, but I liked it. 4.35 on 5. I was kind of happy we jumped on this, and don't you worry, next up we got Maniac.
To the fever, rub a head on the silver platinum. My goons will catch you, don't answer questions. When we in the zone, it's pure reality.
He mentions how he gets his windows tinted, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and she got her windows tinted recently for $100, and I didn't know you can get windows tinted that, like, cheap. Is it that cheap in the States? Like, can you really just get windows tinted, like, for that little? I mean, I'm not trying to diminish the fact that it's got, like, an aesthetic and a swag to it, but I just was curious, This one is a different vibe, and I kind of appreciate the fact that he decided to make sure that we know that we're going to get multiple vibes on this album, that he's a versatile rapper, that he can also drop a hook, right? So I think strategically, it's a smart choice. If the first hook on your project is going to a singer, and then let's say somebody else does your second hook, like we've done those albums where, honestly, the rapper can rap like 2 verses on every song but can't drop a single hook. This one is, alright, better watch your back, I'm a maniac, and he repeats it a whole bunch, and about to make $1 million for all my children. And again, emphasizing the fact that his pursuit of wealth is about giving to others around him, which is noteworthy. It's like a thing to listen for in the music. Does the person want to make money for themselves, or does the person want to make money for the people around them? Everybody wants to make money for themselves, but not everybody wants to do it for the people around them. As far as the hook goes, I could see how, like, Chris, as an example, my co-host normally, would be so much into the banginess of this, and this to me is like a banger for a certain kind of people. I felt the laid back tone and the repetition. It wasn't so much for me, but it was really well done. And like, maniac is a good word because it's vague. It doesn't necessarily imply anything criminal, but maybe he's just fucking crazy. He's just gonna go in, he's gonna do what it has to be done, and you don't want to fuck with him because he's a maniac, and it's got this, but it's just this like flatness to the way he delivers it, where like it almost feels like he's ready to snap at any second on that hook, but he never does. And anyway, the verses are alright. It's kind of flossy. Let up, move one time in his prime, creep on the beat. When I ride, we gon' slide. Got the whole DMV on my side, treated with bitches who slide on my line. The way the man whole team like a band, OG with a ping trying to smash the band. I can't escape the break, the glass, the hand. Y'all going ghost, the pack, the man. I mean, he flows it all so well. And again, he's saying a bunch of shit that sounds super legitimate. Him and his squad is ready. He's got goons that'll take care of you in a situation. He sounds kind of like the real version of what a lot of people want to be. Now, as I understand it, he once did certain activities and he's now migrated into the cleaner life of being a rapper. And he sounds legitimate in that regard, based just on, I guess you listen to a couple hundred albums, you start to notice the difference between the grandiose and the guys who are not talking about things but saying the right things to let you know what's up. In the second verse, same kind of stuff. I don't know. I cream too hard. I might just take your bitch. I shine too hard. I even shine in the dark. No shots on DM. My God, whole team win it all. Don't want to fuck when I ball. Don't even splurge at the mall. So we, so pills, so D, so this, so that. Look, I want to talk about it all. Seen friends, seen that, seen shots, seen this, seen that. Look, I want to talk about it all. And then it's like, you get the sense that he's thrifty, that he has maybe some kind of deeper desire for shit. He's gone through the motions of all sorts of different criminal situations, so it is a lot of what people talk about in music and almost glorify. But he's like, I've seen it, I've done it, I understand the consequences of it. This is not something that is super interesting for me to talk about. Meanwhile, he can't sleep, and if people come at him with guns, he's willing to do what he's got to do. And I find that it's such a crazy thing that gets brought up so often throughout the like 40 years of hip-hop that we've been covering, I guess just albums here and there, is this constant need to point out the fact that you are not one to be fucked with. As if in the hip-hop game, so many people are trying to fuck with people, and I guess it happens. I mean, people get killed and shit. So it's just kind of sad that we're in an era where it's like every talented and efficient person feels the need to almost put that open threat out there. Now, for one thing, it sounds hype, but I also think he's sincere. Like, don't mess with him, because he's not one to be taken lightly in that regard. Look, anybody that's good enough to pull it off is not somebody to be messed with, I guess is a way to look at it. But either way, his verses is dope, the beat's really dope, the chorus is alright. I felt like this is a banger for another type of person that is not me, but it is very well made, and I give it a 4.25 on 5. I appreciate that, like, this is a man on a mission as opposed to just another person trying to get rich. Anyway, next one on this album features Khalid, and it's called Days Like This. Man, this is a really cool song. I don't think I've ever really heard a lot of Khalid's music before, but that like really vacant, ghosty singing that happens on the hook, days like this, man, it's just got this cool hauntiness to it that I really like, where it's like, but even when you go and listen to it, they're saying it's like the insecurity where he goes, I don't have no friends, guess that depends on the mood that I'm in. Now again, that's that different shit. See, most people talking about how they don't have friends, and you're like, bro, you clearly have friends. Look at your music video. There's a whole bunch of people around you. At least a couple of these people are your friends and shit, you know? But to follow that up with, guess that depends on the mood that I'm in. Heard you copped a whip, but you can't pay your rent. That don't make sense. You not making sense. Common sense. And then it's like, okay, so maybe when he reevaluates shit, he realizes, man, so many of the people around me are just fucking morons. I mean, we all know the people, and I can't even say that at a certain point in my life I wasn't that dumb with it, who will splurge and make all sorts of frivolous purchases and shit, but can't pay fucking rent. It's like the priorities are just not proper. And I was like, man, that's a lot of concepts to drop in this hook for this song. Like right off the jump, like there's the insecurity of how the temperament and my unstable mood is actually going to dictate how social I'm feeling and how I perceive the people around me, mixed with like, yo, these people around me are making choices that kind of almost justify my mood flipping like that. And then Khalid just kind of does, I'm not gonna lie, a bit of a vapid verse about a lady and he's powerful and she likes diamonds and shit and whatever. Didn't really do a lot for me, but I enjoyed the way he sang it, so it was totally fine by me. Chorus comes back in, and then GoldLink, and it's like halfway through the song, finally shows up and drops this amazing verse. This might be one of the freshest verses on the album in my opinion. Like the first half of the verse is shit was hard, you know, and like it's got this fast-paced, erratic flow that kind of even comes off Kendrick-ish in a sense, but not like to compare him like that, but I don't know, you got the kind of pitch that he's choosing to use in his voice, the way he's manipulating it. But these fast, almost erratic bars, which I really enjoyed. Like it's just showing that the guy has talent. This is his third song, and his third completely unique approach to showing us what his talent is going to be, and that was really cool. Like, yeah, I had a lot of shit back in 06, turned 13, had my first stick, rode around the city with the stolen whips, fought before I had my first kiss. Sent a lot of in the hearse, in the dirt, put in work, now I dead in my head, you know, and it's just like shit, you know. Imagine having a fight before having like a kiss in life, you know, that's some rough shit that he's gone through. And then it just kind of flips into, I have the ghetto magic dick and I fuck her so good that she will always come back to me and will be obsessed over the power of my prowess in the sack. Now, he says it in a way where I kind of like felt it, you know, he's got that cool flow, and she liked me because she know that ghetto backstroke keep her tired. You know, like, that's actually like this implication where it's not just about his pleasure. It's like he's gonna work her to a point where she's exhausted, hands tied, and she know I bite, hit it from the side, ride it tight, hands up on your thigh, guide you to the light. Like, this guy sounds like he actually gives a fuck about the women having a good time in the sex that he's having, which leads me to believe that he's probably having the better sex that he's describing, because it doesn't necessarily sound like he's handing money to prostitutes in a club to fillet him and make him feel a certain way. That's pretty cool. He wants them to be obsessed with his abilities to a point where he has that mind control that comes from, okay, like, on the real, the secret weapon to getting out of trouble is to make her come, like, real hard. Like, that's just it. If you remind her that deep down in life you can do this thing, just make her feel super fucking good so that she forgets about all of your shitheadery for a second, she's happy for a good couple of days. It's like, you just gotta give her the A game, like, you know, all the effort to make sure she is getting the super O that she cannot provide herself. All you gotta do is that, and life is a lot simpler. And I believe GoldLink understands that premise based on this verse. Then the hook comes back in, and it's again hauntingly beautiful. I really like this song. I thought it was fucking fun to listen to, and it was like the first one that really excited me on this project. The first one that I felt like I needed to plus on the Spotify and listen to again. And I'm like, damn, this is like excellent mainstream rap. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean, this shit deserves radio spins and plays, and I hope that a guy is smart and like conscious of what he's saying can take over the charts, as opposed to maybe some people who want to vapidly glorify shit. Anyway, I really like this. The next track on the album, though, it's pretty fire. It's called Zulu Scream. This is a pretty fucking excellent beat, man. P2J made this beat. This is, I mean, who doesn't want to get up? Like, from the beginning, you just kind of have this kind of a vibe. Like, I know I'm bad with the shoulders, but I wish I could do cool shoulder shit while I was dancing. Like, you just feel like you gotta move to this Scream summer single, but like in a fun kind of way. And I hope that this is the one that gets overplayed a lot, because it has a shot, in my opinion. It's just so fun. And then look at that verse. Hey, feeling like a brand new me, and their entourage where the latest be, and the sun don't shine where the gangsters be, and we Russian roulette to a game of 3, pop 1, pop 2, pop 3, pop 4. I guess it's not like the deepest shit, I'm not gonna lie, but you do feel like his progression and how he's gotten to this point of success, you know? And how they're a little bit risky guys. And the sun don't shine around the year no more, and the girls say yeah and ain't no more, and we richer than rich, we ain't poor no more. And just hearing the celebration in that, like the transition, like, yo, we come from a place where shit was hard and risky and bad, and now like the ladies are saying yes and we rich. But it's not, again, me, it's the whole team. It's like everybody involved is up there with me. And then the pre-chorus, I ain't been back in a minute, that's crazy. I ain't seen you around, don't call, don't page me. Pull up on the block, don't ever try to fade me. Calm down, all good, baby, it's gravy. And you just get the sense that, like, maybe he's popping in for a party, but, like, you know, he's just here. It's been a while. He hasn't been around. He's not really in this scene anymore. Don't pretend like y'all are friends. You're either with him or you're not, I guess. And again, you get that sense of that division between the people who are loyal to your squad and who have been around, who are rich with you, and the people who want to be like with you, which is an interesting common theme. And then, yeah, it just kind of flows. Second verse is fine. It's not really like anything good. Not to say not good, but like deeper, like, but it's not meant to be. It's just a fun, like, summer jam. Like, yeah, hurt me, baby. Put it on me like blam. One leg up, make that booty go wham. Smoke so much you done lost a pound, but I ain't even tripping, that's still hitting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that they smoked a pound of weed and that was expensive, but you ain't even mad because the girl's so hot. I mean, it's clever. It's still pretty top level in terms of that, but the way he's vibing has me just bouncing all around and shit, and it's super fucking fun. And then Maleek Berry on the hook sounds great. I think the thing that really sells the song is the Bibi Bourelly part where she is singing. I think it's a she. It could be a he. I hope it's not. Whatever. Is in Lingala, a Congolese language, and it's just like I don't want to read what it's saying, but it just sounds so fucking fresh. It sounds like a great bridge thing to have on this song. Like it almost like breaks down. It's like it's time to fucking dance. And from what I understand, the meaning of the bridge is the children are dancing around us. And one of the other common themes that comes on this album is the idea of kids being influenced by it. So to create such a positive sound, and this song is pretty positive. Like it's kind of, touches on some stuff, but it's pretty positive, all things considered. And it's almost it's going to achieve the goal of making a bunch of kids and people dance. It's going to make a lot of people happy. It made me happy to listen to this song. I thought it was fucking cool. I really enjoyed it. I give it a 4.75 on 5 so far. Zulu Screams is my favorite song on the album. There's a really cool and fun video where you see GoldLink doesn't interact with the ladies, but Maleek Berry is so happy to be all up on top of this girl that he's dancing with in the video. I thought that was noteworthy. It was a fun one. Anyway, next track is called More. So this one, instantly the sound isn't as captivating to me. It feels more of like a girl song. But subject matter wise, it seems like he's choosing the grind over fully committing to this person who's not necessarily perfect for him, as we goes, I know I know you're not perfect for me. Yeah, you're just enough for me. I know you. And that was such an interesting idea to me, where again, it's like the honesty of his situation. Like maybe this girl isn't perfect for him. Maybe there isn't somebody he's met yet that's perfect for him. Maybe perfect for him doesn't exist because he wants to be a rapper out on tour having a good time with situations. Or maybe he is in a sense really committed to this person, but he recognizes that, all things considered, she checks just enough of the boxes of what he needs in his life to make her there. And then, like, you get the sense in the first verse, he's trying to be rich with it and hustle and grind. And, and I'm a street boy and I'm on the road for it. I hate it when they got me talking like a dog for it. I hate it when I go and get the dog for it. I hate it when she says she loved me when I'm far from it. I hate it when she tell me that she need a break from me. And you get, like, this conflict of, like, just, frustration that comes in when things aren't as easy as they're supposed to be. Or, like, maybe... But yeah, really, that's what it comes down to. You can feel that he wants things to be simpler than they are, and they're not, but they're like good enough, So I know I said a couple things. You had me so frustrated. Had dreams of bigger things. Yeah, but look what we created. So maybe this shit isn't manifesting in the way that you're hoping for. Maybe the romantic side of this is not this dream state that you want. But all things considered, the partnership yielded a whole bunch of shit that they have that it makes it completely intangibly worth it. And so I have to say, like, this is some depth that I guess I was looking for. Like some honesty, a perspective on like, love in the life that he's living that probably a lot more people relate to but don't rap about, as they sell his false perfections and his weird obsessive shit. It's like, nah, this doesn't sound like this girl is worshiping him like every other rapper wants you to believe, that the women that are in love with them are just devoted to them fully. Like, that doesn't sound like a healthy partnership. Whereas what this guy's talking about sounds like some realistic shit that could actually happen, where you find somebody you like and maybe it's not perfect, but you find a way to make it like work. And I guess he identifies that this person has always wanted more, and maybe that's what keeps her from being perfect for him. But at the end of the day, they can fuck, they keep it real. Like, I like when he goes, I'm gonna tell you ain't nobody laying verses with me. It's from the dome, this my own. See, can't know nobody work it for me. My mama prayed this Sunday you should come to church with me. I'm gonna pull up and make it worth it for you. Ain't no putting up the dirt for you. See, no, I know you're not perfect for me, but you're just enough for me. I know you. And like, first of all, he has verses with Pusha T on the next song. So yes, he does work with other people. I know I'm not supposed to read things that literally. It's more to be like, yo, when it comes down to it, other people aren't telling me the right things to say to you. They're not telling me how to treat you. This is the realness. This is just the situation as it is. Look, if you're willing to ride with me, I'll make it worth it for you in the grand scheme of things. Even though, you always seem to want more. And it almost feels like an honest conversation to have with somebody that maybe you are vacant a lot of the time in light of your lifestyle. And to make yourself available to maximize on that time and to not have it be like a frustrating experience is something he clearly wants. So I thought it was super honest and interesting to listen to from a subject matter perspective. But I give it a 4.35 on 5. Sound wise, it's a little less what I like, but the whole album has been equal in its quality. Like, there hasn't been a dip anywhere. Everything, like, you're gonna have maybe preferences in regards to what you're interested in, but so far we're pretty solid with what we're getting on this album, and it's truly an impressive project. The next song, though, like I said, features Pusha T. It's called Cokewhite. This is a cool little slash song experience that we have. It starts off and it's got Pusha T. And what I like about Pusha T is he manages to say a whole bunch by saying so very nothing. Like, he starts off kind of like, you got like that hook that comes in the background. It's kind of like faded vocals. Cokewhite cash got me feeling like Royce. Yeah, you leave me no choice. We don't need no toys, y'all some pussy boys. We don't need no toys, y'all some pussy boys. On top of that, Pusha T's like, millionaire drug dealer rap show and tell. If I say it, you can see it. Push, you know, and just builds it up. Like, we're going in that direction for this song. So for an ex-drug dealer type, as GoldLink appears to be, having Pusha T show up with that little validation point, he's the right kind of guy for this kind of a song. And, you know, comes in talking about his cars and etc. His coke super pure. But what I really like is when he flows on in the second half of the verse. The PJs for 6, so you better hope one is not your bitch. And drug dealers have never been her niche. We compare risk by the watch complication. I just really enjoyed that because he's basically saying, listen, we're going to go out there and whatever and meet the girls. And if one of these girls we run into happens to feel that she's always wanted to fuck a drug dealer, well, sir, I am exactly what she wants, and I'm going to get her regardless of if you are there. So it's kind of a cleverer way of saying I'm gonna fuck your bitch. So I gotta give him the points on that. I like then the following line, we compare risk by watch complications. And then it's like, how amazingly put together is your watch is the value, you know, like, and it's just such a cool way to describe the value of it, you know, by also making the wristwatch a little pun there. We compare rich by who's more ostentatious, and even just using the word ostentatious to describe the lavishness of their lifestyles, that's fucking fresh to me. Diamonds lined up to make a star constellation. That line is totally fine. It just rhymes. It is not as good as the ones before it. And never talk numbers via phone conversations. And it's just like, again, it's just almost the authenticity and legitimacy. Like, you feel like Pusha T just knows the rules and spits it in a fresh way where, like, he's accomplished and he's made it. And it's just nice to listen to. And then as the chorus plays the first time after that, then the song kind of like flips. And apparently part 2 is called Moscow. And then the chorus plays again. And then GoldLink just comes in with this fast fucking flow. Like, you know, turned 24, he never pulled up in a ghost Lamborghini Centurino LP 700, you ain't know. So he hasn't been in a ghost, but he has been in that car. I done seen so many come, I done seen so many go. Pistol packing, then I started trapping, then I started rapping, then I blowed. You know, it's almost like his life, just like that. I went from that situation into, you know, selling drugs, into rapping, and now I'm fucking on top of the world. Take it on the chin, Rick Rubin let me in. Saw me sitting on the bench, Tunji told me put him in. Now I'm giving buckets out, figure put him out. Think I'm from the south, now I'm getting batline calls from women you dream about. It's flossing proper. It's just kind of like, you know, he is accomplished and he has made it to where he needs to be. And it just has this celebration, but this intensity, like made self-made millions, rap hero turned villain, RCA made a monster, new coat cracker Dylan. And I like it. I like how he owns this shit. And he just, I don't know, it's just the way the beat flips up. Everything about this is brilliant. Then there has a little Project Pat interlude that he comes in. And it's very fucking dope the way it flows. And then he has a whole second verse, and he just kind of shows his dedication to money. and how he wants. I really like how he correlates it to his girlfriend, talking about how she has a menage going on. He's like, should I hit both teams? Wait a second. It all depends, because money be my motive. Money be my girlfriend. I'm committed to the movement. You committed to the wave. Yeah, I know it get you paid, but why you tatted on your face? And that was an interesting point, right? Like, basically he's saying that he's committed to the long run. Like, it's a movement to him. It's a bigger thing, and he will do what he has to do to it. You sell yourself short, right? When you get those tats on your face, that's trendy, that's hot now, but it shows that you trend hopping, and it's not necessarily going to have the longevity. Even if it does get you paid, is that really the smart way of approaching it? I don't know. I thought it was fucking smart. He wants the simple things. He's not really just into, like, you don't get the sense that he's trying to be super extravagant with his life. He's trying to be smart and intelligent with his wealth. It's almost like this is the trapper that a lot of people have been waiting for a long time, or at least somebody like me is excited to see, because it's not a guy that's spit like 7 or 6 songs on this album, and so far nothing is claimed to be like, I'm the best rapper in the world. Nothing's claimed like he's trying to take my girlfriend in particular. He's not trying to necessarily floss that his life's better than mine or anything. It just sounds like this is a guy on a mission, and he's just trying to document his mission and tell you his story in like a really creative way. So I'm really impressed with GoldLink. He's making a sound I didn't think I would find this level of depth in, but he's managing to just show me that I need to be more fucking open-minded in general, because this is fucking dope. This song's a 5 on 5. Absolutely loved this track. And I'm a bit of a sucker for Pusha T. After Daytona, I was like, yo, Pusha T is fucking fresh. Still, the next one on this album, because we're halfway through, is called You Say. Need it, love it, from it, you say, wanna. So if I understand the framing of this song, it's kind of like, let's not waste time, let's get to the point of it, GoldLink's meeting some lady, like push your back, put your butt in it, wanna love you, but I do not want to commit, so I dance with you with the thought of us fucking, we dancing up in the corner, feeling for the corner pockets, so I ease your work for a bit, buy you a drink, you have a sip, I should tell you we dip, and then they get into the cab and they head back home, and it's just kind of like, yo, let's not waste any time. We're both here for this goal. Instead of going through the whole ruggamaroo of wasting 2 hours, blah, blah, blahing and foreplaying in the club, let's just go home. Let's not waste time. You want to party all night? Let's party all night. I got you covered. And I was like, I gotta give him credit again. As far as these like women's sex songs go, these are like concepts that we're not necessarily getting from most people. In a sense where, again, it sounds realistic. Like I can't say that I haven't been with a lady and kind of made that same point, like maybe we should cut to the chase here for a little bit and not waste time. I got work, in the morning. Do we really want to go through all that? And it's a smart choice. So I like the directness. It's like, don't fuck around with that shit. Also, it doesn't sound like he's paying for all sorts of shit. He's like, he bought her a drink, got her a little loose, danced with her a bit, and said, let's go home. Sounds proper. When Tyler comes in, boyfriend pissed off, smacking his lips off for the fact that my lips are covered in your lip gloss. I say we should dip out of here, talk, speak some words, grab a ear. So evidently, Tyler's met some girl and he's pissed off. The boyfriend's pissed off because she's been making out with him. Tyler's like, let's go home. He's like, you seem home cooked in them goods, McDonald's. So it's like, you seem like you're proper. And like, I don't know. That line kind of was weird to me. You seem home cooked, but like with fake shit, like tits and shit. So like, you seem like a great girl in the soul, but like you got the proper goods that are a little bit fake, like McDonald's. I don't know. Or maybe it's snackaliciously delicious, which I don't know. Maybe fake shit is snackaliciously delicious. Anyway, so he wants to like take the girl, and then he's just like, car out in the front, like the Uber, we can hop in and you can top 10 the list that I wanted to hop in. List is full, so I'm gonna call it a night. He just like flips it halfway through the verse and then proceeds to apologize. Like he's like, yeah, I don't think I'm really that interested. And then it kind of like, it sounds like she's trying a little bit to get with him, and then he's like, I'm leaving, you call me back. It's like emotions receding, let's call it an evening, it's getting desperate, yeah. And then he's like he's almost like, I'm sorry for like wasting your time. And I thought that was such a weird verse because like it kind of starts you off in the same direction as what you were getting from GoldLink, only that Tyler just randomly turns this person down halfway through the verse, or maybe it flips to the other person being like, nah, I'm not interested. But it just kind of sounds like Tyler thought about it and was like, you know what, you're not even my type anyway. And then I don't know. I can't really interpret much from that. I just thought it was a strange occurrence, but fun to listen to because Tyler kills it. Both of them do amazing on this track. It's really well done. Jay Prince, who I'm not really sure who he is, but I do want to hear more from him now, does a great job with that hook. He sounds proper in contrast to the other two to like solidify this song. And overall, I'm giving it a 4.5 on 5. I really like it. I can see a lot of people were excited for this shit. I believe it was a single that came out before the album, and it was dope. This is something that would have made me hyped for the album if I had heard it. Anyway, next up, we have the song Yard.
So women, designer things, the big houses, fast talk, personal things.
So it's like on this one, he doesn't really want bad vibes around him, and in a sense, it's kind of like he wants to seduce some lady by pointing out that you can come live this great life with me and there's no bad vibes around here, but also painting out that he wants like a proper woman. Like, it's my yard, get the fuck up my yard, DC Mellow, baby, know I go hard. Look, Southwest, make the gun spark. I say I love her because I tell you from the heart. Ass thighs, want to taste a la carte. GoldLink is a black work of art. I don't need no friends in my life. I don't need no girl to get high. I just need a boat and a tan and a black girl with a 5-year plan who's in school with a kid trying to be the best she can, and she drive a good kid Mad City minivan. Look, it just sounds like he wants some nice woman to like wife up and has goals and ambitions in her life, and it isn't about some like beautiful little thing that he can put on his arm and have like an ego trip off it because she's finer than your girl or whatever. It's like, nah, he wants to build with somebody and create something dope, to the point where that minivan on the cover of Good Kid Mad City is like the admiration, because somebody who's practical that wants a minivan is probably more in line with what he's looking for than somebody who's going to be flossy with some fancy ass shit. Then Haley, who I believe is from Western WSTRN, does the chorus where it just sounds great to listen to. And then GoldLink does a second verse that's kind of like, yo, everything's nice and fancy and rich in my life, but let's be real, I'm still legit, I'm still the same person, I have nicer shit, but whatever. I am what I am, you know? And he looks good, he's proper, and I don't know, it would seem like this was one of the more flossy things, but like at the end of the day, he doesn't want to deal with negativity and haters, he's just keeping it real in the way that he understands. And then Haley does the third verse, which kind of just sounds like he wants the girl, and it sounds wonderful. Honestly, the whole vibe of this track has something fresh to it. It sounds different, a little bit more on that Caribbean flavor going on. I don't know if it was like my favorite jam, but it felt like a solid one that like if it came on and it just played, I would enjoy listening to it, but I can't say it's engaging me in the level of deep thinking that like a You Say or a Cokewhite got me on like those bars and shit. This felt a little more flashy, a little more like you're meant to be listening to it at a barbecue, or maybe you're not necessarily paying attention to all the music, because the truth is you don't want no bad vibes in your yard. And I love the sentiment of the song. I thought it was really well made, and I give it a 4.25. It's just totally a good jam to throw on for positive vibes. And again, the flow is great. GoldLink is again proving he can do something different on this album, which I want to keep emphasizing, because when somebody can show such versatility in the way that they vocally deliver it, like he's taken on a more Caribbean flair to his flow here. And whereas in the last one it was maybe a little more calmer, and the one before it was fast paced and shit, like he's showing how talented he really is. Anyway, the next song on the album is called Spanish Song. I had a lot of trouble getting into this song. It's got like I feel like a more Latin-y, fun, dancey theme going on here, which I guess why it's called Spanish Song. It's not in Spanish. So you have GoldLink and Wave IQ on that first verse, and lyrically It doesn't do a lot for me. It's more of a vibe thing. Like, oh my, sweet like cherry pie. I'ma get it going, get it going, get it going, get it going. What she need, can't get that for free. I'ma get, I don't know. So divine. Shorty hit me with that wine, which I do like it when a shorty hits me with the wine. Like, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the sentiment of being there and enamored with this gorgeous lady who was dancing for you, and you're enamored with her and you're getting into that vibe. So I like being in the moment that they're describing. I just don't know how much I care about like listening to it. However, if I was at a place where this was all transpiring, I think this is the perfect kind of song for it. And I feel a lot like I felt with Yard. Like if I was outside and there were people dancing and it was a good vibe, this is like a perfect song for that kind of an environment. But it's more on the summery end of this album and less on the thinkier side of it. Like GoldLink does do a great job on the other two verses, like bringing in some speed and some tenacity, because each verse brings GoldLink again doing a different flow. So the first one was more of that singier vibe. The second verse has going a little bit faster. You know, he's feeling crazy while sipping the goose. I feel invincible when I'm high as the roof. Entitled streaming Tidal. Was that a plug? I wonder if they paid him for that. Who the fuck streams Tidal? I stream Spotify. I stream off the roof. About the richest couple, liquor got me to loose, stay out the way so I can grow my hair. My baby mama calling, talking about a plan for the latest baby, how she met a man, but tonight I'm in it to win, I guess. You know, he's just kind of like, all of that, he's drunk and he's faded and he feels like he's gonna win, but there's some, maybe a little bit of drama going on, whereas baby mama got a new guy, and I don't know, like, and a girl, and then he wants this new woman in his life, and that's fine. He finds somebody that's like, they need 50,000 mirrors to show off how hot they are. I mean, I'm not trying to sound dismissive. It's fine. I don't like to think about lyrics like this because they're not really for me. They're fun to like throw on, and like I would not go out of my way to memorize this track, but I would totally throw it on if I was trying to impress a girl. And then I like the last part where it's just like he wants to go out there and dance, and you know, he just wants to enjoy being around there, and he likes her. And I kind of enjoy that sentiment. It's just so genuine. And again, I don't feel like he's falling into the tropes of what a lot of other people would do with this type of a song. I think he genuinely makes these expressive experiences based on what he really enjoys in life, which sounds a lot more relatable to what an average human wants than, say, a megalomaniac rapper. So I appreciate that. But this song is not 100% for me. I'm feeling like it's equal quality to Yard, and my interest is equal to it. So it gets a 4.25 for being a fun, airy song. The next one features WizKid, and it's called No Lie. So this was a cool track. It has like a Slash song feel in the sense that the hook comes in and WizKid's like, act like you don't know me no lie. Full disclosure, I don't know what it was this morning, but when I first heard this song, I thought it was a girl, and I had to look up who WizKid was, and then I realized it wasn't a girl. I do this thing, and I do this thing for real, me no lie. Got a couple girls and guys who could die for me no lie. Bust up the party and everything, doo-doo, me no lie. You know, it's just kind of framing it like, people need to know that they're authentic, that they got loyal fans. Like, they're just different than maybe a lot of the other people who present this life and are fake. And as I've said, I do believe GoldLink and his squad present the more authentic side of what this is. I like how GoldLink starts it off with, GoldLink is a good example for the assholes and the adolescents. Big dog with a great smile, looked like shark poker, yet I get aggressive. And it's probably true, like, for all of the alternatives of what you're going to be listening to, listening to a guy like GoldLink who's going to be spitting more of the honest side of how shit works makes him actually a good example, especially maybe for assholes and adolescents who aren't going to be going for that softer Mr. Rogers shit. So to have like an aggressive figure that can spit knowledge from a point of success and teach people, maybe prioritize your mind like this and don't be going after the same kind of shit that other people are telling you to do, like focus on your team, take care of your own people. Don't just be extravagantly wealthy for the sake of it. These are actually good messages that GoldLink has put down through this project. So I agree with him, you know. Otherwise, he's kind of flossy with it. So my teeth cut my lip. I put a diamond on that bitch to a star for the set. Yeah, the summer had us moving different. Had an eagle on my neck because the winter we was flying different. I'm not show improved. Still be rapping like I'm broke. How a young and this smooth. I'm really daddy with the stroke. And I just appreciate how he's trying to keep it real while smart and not like changing, not letting the fame on this money lust that takes over so many people and forces them maybe to sell out and to give up their integrity and flip that shit up. Nah, he's gonna take the authentic. And then the beat flips up. I'm mad. GoldLink's like, yeah, I'm hella moving different. Went from ducking coppers, now we ducking paparazzi now. Find little tall black chick with an accent. Look like she a model now, drinking bubbly liquor while I'm staring at her, looking like nothing she talk. They remember when I was a youngin', had the 40 dragon when they talk. And it's just kind of like he's on a date now with this model person who's kind of famous. I won't tell you who she is, but you heard of her. I'm like, he's like, man, this is all weird to me. I used to be so hood. I used to be this person, and now I'm in this whole other life where I'm with all the rich people. And while I don't believe he's fully conformed to the style, he maybe has bought himself some nice toys and he's congregating in new circles and shit. But anyway, it's just kind of like he's almost like starstruck by his own life at this point, considering the transition of where he's come from to where he is. You know what I'm hearing? A man who appreciates what he fucking has, which is so different than it's not so much like I deserve this. It's like I finally got it and I'm thankful for it. Anyway, then he goes, I want the world, nothing less. Kill a rapper for respect, kill a rapper for respect, killer for a North Face and some bragging rights and a tech. And that's where it's like, man, he goes from pointing out like the common, like, I'm gonna murder you on wax and kill you, get some respect, to, yo, there are people that would kill a person for a nice jacket and a bragging rights and a gun. And that's like a whole different reality, right, thing compared to what a lot of other people might be putting. And I don't know, it's such an interesting thing, a way to end the track. Then it just has a little outro bit, and it's just fine. I really enjoyed this one more than the last one. I give it a 4.35 on 5. I thought it was pretty cool. It kind of hypes up at the end, and you think something exciting is going to be happening, and then the song just like abruptly fucking ends. And I thought that was also worth noting out. I think that's part of why it's not getting a 4.5. Had the ending been a little smoother, I might have liked it more. Anyway, the next one, track 12, is the Tiff Freestyle.
Rapping to feed all my future children. Sexy black rapper who tryna plank on $1 million.
So it has a lady who I don't know who it is because it beeps out her name. And it's just like, yeah, we got this person here. And it kind of sounds like she's on the radio and she's hyping up for a little freestyle that you're going to get from GoldLink. And then he just drops his little verse. Yeah, rapping to feed all my future children. Sexy black rapper who trying to plank on $1 million. But I won't give a fuck about shit until $1 billion. And my around me can talk about riding spinners. And it's just like, again, all of what I've been saying. So he's trying to feed his future kids. He's trying to make sure his whole team is with him with that wealth when he has that $1 billion kind of money. Because what's the point? Sorry about that. What's the point in getting rich if like none of your people can be there with you? So he recognizes that, and he wants to make sure he has the kind of wealth where everybody's there with him. We can like honestly make serious difference, you know. I just kind of is flossy, and you know, karma's a bitch, poor man to rich, I 2 to a 4, 4 to a 6, I honorable who turned to a snitch, wow, money on heads, diamonds on wrists, blow, top 10 baddest, the realest on had him, is that real, fake smile, flat chest, shoddy, but boy, that ass real. It's alright. I don't know if like it brings anything new to the table that we haven't already learned about him on this album, but as far as a freestyle goes, it's pretty fucking fresh. It's pretty alright. But then you got the outro. I don't really feel the intro and outro. I would have been cooler if he just did the freestyle and just left that on. But I get it. It's kind of hyping it up. It feels like a certain vibe. Maybe there's some inside joke that I don't understand the significance of. But I gave this song a 4.15. I'll be honest, it's my least favorite one on the project so far. But it also is just a little bit like, it kind of feels like I've heard this before. Only this is a less good version, except for the fact that we know he's freestyling, or we know he's freestyling. I'm assuming he does. Like, for all I know, the entire album's off the dump. But at least this one he called it freestyle. Anyway, The next one on this is called Rumble.
From running the game too long, this ain't a thing that you find. The pussy niggas wanna play like Jawan.
On the one hand, this may be one of the more interesting choruses that have to do with diamonds I've ever heard. You know, I keep my energy calibrated, only show up so they know I made it. All of my diamonds elite hydrated. When I touch down, oh, they celebrating. And then he just kind of like repeats that. And I guess the idea of acknowledging that there is almost a need to have this wealth and to show it off so that you can show other people that you made it. And then I guess his diamonds are next level. They're hydrated. I didn't realize that there was such a thing as a hydrated diamond. And I was like, okay, this one's probably not going to be my favorite just because it just repeats that chorus for a while. And it does feel like celebratory. It does feel proper, but I just don't care about people wearing a bunch of diamonds and stuff. Sometimes chains and stuff are cool. Lil Pump has a cool chain. But, like, in general, jewelry is not really my thing. I got these little rings I picked up in Israel. So I guess if you got something that means something to you, I'm not going to shit on that. But, like, I don't know. Touchdown, my grit on my shit. I got risk on my bones. This ain't a rental. I rap it like rentals. My mental make you watch your tone now. Speaking to me, I got blood on my sneakers from running the game too long. I'm like, this is pretty vapid. It's all right. It doesn't say a whole lot here that I find interesting. I don't know. There's nothing really in this one that I liked that much. I think it was well done. You can tell the beat's well made. You can tell the hook fits. Lil Nei does a good job. It all sounds right, but I kind of like the be like, I be like, they be like, fuck it, that GoldLink does on the chorus. And then the pre-chorus, and then the full chorus comes in with the diamonds, and then Jackson Wang comes in, who I've never heard of. I guess he's foreign. He has some Chinese or Korean going on this song. Jackson getting illusions. I'll be flying all night long, and bottles popping in the air. Outfits with them made in China on them tags. Team Wang on the beat. Now bring them with them bags. When I touch down, they're gonna celebrate. I'm like, this is just as vapid as the rest of this song. Like, it all sounds good, but like a lot of that personality and distinction that I felt on the rest of this album, like, bled away on this song. Like, it was just, this was the most generic thing on this album to me. It didn't sound bad. It just didn't sound that fun or interesting. All things considered, I give it a 4. I recognize it's well made, and to somebody else, this is probably actually really good, but to me, this is like, I mean, it's well made. You can tell all the money turned this song into something good, but like, yo, lyrically, it's okay. I don't know. Not my favorite. Anyway, one more on this project. Why don't we move on to Swoosh?
Yo, bitch ass, yeah. Get done up, yeah. Don't run up,
This is another one that, like, I don't know how much I was feeling. Maybe it's because from like an album perspective, I don't feel like I feel like it was so innovative for a while, and then in the last like couple of songs that innovation kind of pivoted away, and it felt a little bit less new to me. I mean, he starts off saying family music, and then I don't know. They didn't think a king could do it all again like he was supposed to. Came and went like the before him. That part's cool. Like, other people get their one little Grammy nom and then fade away, and then here he is. He's coming back. He's establishing. I'm like, okay. I was cooling with my partners, and we started talking trends. And we all remember we were supposed to die up in our ends. I repent. We were talking about our blessings and our wins, and he confessed maybe he should marry his girlfriends. I just want a private jet. I just want a baby Benz. Maybe do some head and sex and put my face on the side of Ben. And I'm like, okay. So somebody wants to get married, and he wants a nice little thing that'll fuck him on his private jet and shit, and just kind of out there and over the top. And I don't know, it doesn't like say anything to me here. I'm just like, what's the message? What am I supposed to take out of this verse? It's nice to listen to. It's as well delivered as everything else on this project. I'm not sure what the point was. And then I like when he's like, I want to live a young legend, watch him come up. Yo, bitch ass, get done up, don't run up. I'll come up, see all the dollars falling down. I love her and I leave her when she coming around. Nike swoosh, splash dripping around my town. And all you hear is a deadly screams. What a pretty sound. Like, what? I don't know what I'm not getting here. Like, he wants to come up and be proper, and he's making money, and he likes the girl or the money, and then, you know, he's got all the fancy shit and the deadly screams as in people getting murdered or taken out. What a pretty sound. That's something he likes. Maybe all of this came from the deadly screams of his past, and now he's getting swooshes and shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much into this one. And then the second one is like, oh, I don't want to commit, etc. You move too fast, etc. Girl wants to fuck and go shopping. I guess this has more vapid. Maybe that's just kind of what he's facing in his life. And then there's a little outro where it kind of sounds like a lady saying it. A dark king, continue the battle above ground, but don't let him see you cry. And I thought that was super interesting because all of a sudden, right there on the outro, it's like, okay, so he has to be strong and not like display his real emotions and shit. He's seen predator and prey, but only one survives in a strange land. Ride or die on the set. Ain't too many make it out from where you're from. It's OZ. Y'all skin, y'all say hova, yo memes, the world moving. This is real, way too real. And that last little bit of this song, I feel like we get a lot of honest like confusion in a sense, or like maybe just recollection. Like he's thought a lot about where he is and poetically just lays out like the position he's faced in as a person who's won coming from the darkness of his past. I thought that was super cool, but the rest of the song was like, So I give it a 4.15. It's, I guess, not my favorite end to a project. But on that note, we can just wrap up by talking about the album as a whole. I gave the album a 4.389 on 5. I really like this project as far as the more mainstream side of hip-hop goes. He definitely showcases that he's not everyone else who's just fake as fuck trying to say whatever to get some money. He showcases that he is able to have real unique song concepts and interesting ideas as he goes throughout it. He does manage to take like a fresh approach to it. He's versatile as fuck, as almost every song up until maybe the end comes off fresh and distinct with different flows and different styles and different subject matters. Personally, everything past No Lie, maybe I could have lived without personally. Maybe for you to good songs, but I think from like 1 to 11, this is like a fucking solid album that just trails off a bit. And it makes me really excited to see what GoldLink has to do next. Will do next. It makes me like really excited I reviewed this album because I do think that this is a high quality product with a lot of effort put into it. And like he really took the time to craft something that like shows him as something that stands out compared to a lot of the other mainstream guys that might not be able to pull off something so well. So yeah, that's what I got to say about this album. I look forward to hearing your comments and seeing what you have to say in the comments below. If you make that effort to leave a comment, I'll make that effort to answer you. Also, you can feel free to subscribe to the channel for more reviews. You can hit that like button if you did. Special thanks to the patrons Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, TJ Black, Hurricane, Jonathan Barnes, and Lindell Williams. The support will be due to help us get a new camera. They get to tell us what albums to review sometimes. And if you want to support us, you can for $1 or more over on Patreon, and you'll be fucking dope for doing so. I also make some music. You can check that out on this channel. I got links in the description of this video. And I just look forward to hearing from you on the next one. So peace for now.